Hello, everybody on YouTube. I want to talk about three things in this video. Well, at least three things. I'll probably end up talking about more. The three things are healthcare, schools, and jobs. Now, they're all connected. When you solve the problem for one, you're going to solve the problem for the other ones, because the other ones will fall into play, because those three are connected. And healthcare, schools, and in schools I'm talking about higher education and jobs. That they're all connected. Now, one of the biggest problems I have with healthcare is, why do we need insurance to get health care? Because you go to the doctors, you go to the hospital. See, insurance was supposed to be something for emergency. Just like when you get car insurance. Why do you get car insurance? You don't want to use the car insurance. You just want to have it just in case your car gets wrecked up, so you can get another car, and get everything back on. That's what health insurance, that's how it originally started. But it's gone to the point of being a necessity for getting good health care, or paying for health care. You go to a doctor's office, they ask you for insurance. Why? I know a doctor I went to a few years ago, I had insurance, so it only cost, I think it was like 15 or $20 per office visit. But without insurance, you know how much the doctor charged? $200 for a 15-minute office visit, just to go through a checklist. $200. What kind of scam is that? I mean, the price, it's just way too expensive. They could come down in price a little bit, to fair market value. But I'm going to get to that in a moment. Well, actually, maybe I'll get to it now. Because, see, actually, I'll get to that in a moment. The other thing I want to talk about is the cost of higher education. It's gone up. I went to college back in the 90s. I saw the prices. And I remember the prices, the average prices. And I look now, and they're definitely higher. And I've looked between the 90s and now, I've looked at the prices. And I looked at the prices, and I saw them increasing. Now, higher education, there's many forms of higher education. You have your university systems, which are really super expensive. It's like Harvard, and around here, Keene State. That's in New Hampshire, Keene State. UNH. These are the big college universities. And they're more expensive tuition-wise to go, and then per class basis. But in higher education, you also have community college and technical college. Around here, our community college and our technical college kind of merged. It's Manchester Community College of New Hampshire. We still have Hesser College. That is also a community college. I think there's like another college up in Concord, New Hampshire, but I'm not exactly sure. And those prices, the tuition to go to those are less. Um, the college course prices are probably maybe a little bit um, more inexpensive than a university system, but you know, not much because it's still up there. You know, like I think it's $600 and $700 per course. You know, for a 16-week course. Now, these teachers are highly specialized, like in community college. You got teachers teaching the trades. You've got teachers teaching business. I don't have my syllabus in front of me, but it just goes through this like business, economics. Well, that's part of the business. There is the trades, the plumbing, the HVAC, the design courses, all those and they're highly specialized. But there's a problem that the majority, like around this area in Manchester, the majority of courses, the majority of jobs are low income, non-skilled jobs. They're jobs at Walmart, Kohl's, other department stores, restaurants, McDonald's, Burger King, Wendy's, Taco Bell's, all the other restaurants, Chili's, all those. And even in some of the service, the house cleaners. In a lot of places, they don't make a whole lot of money. In hotels and things like that, they're all non-skilled. Even though cleaning is a skill, but people don't think of it as a skill. People think you just clean, but there's a skill to that on getting stuff out. But anyways, that's another blog. So we have all these low-income, non-skilled jobs, more than we have high-skilled, higher-paying jobs. So when students get a college education, the majority of them have to get financial aid from some sort, either a loan or a scholarship. That includes nurses too. So they usually have to get financial aid because they can't pay it because they're probably in a unskilled job. And that's why they went to college, to get a skill, to get a high-paying job. But the problem is there's not enough of those high-skilled jobs in this area. And I'm just talking about, Manchester, New Hampshire, and New Hampshire in general. The North Country, Coast Country in New Hampshire, they also definitely have a big problem with trying to get high-skilled jobs up there. And they need it. Because people usually have their own houses, and they got lots of land. And if you ever own a house, a house is not an asset. A house is only an asset when you sell it. But when you're living in a house, it's an expense because there are all the utilities, all the repairs. And if you're living in a house, chances are you also have a family that you got to buy groceries for, and groceries are very expensive nowadays. A family of four, I mean, per week, we're probably talking about $400 to $500 in groceries. Easy. I mean, I spent $33 just for me for a couple weeks. A week, maybe two. But that's just me. Multiply that by like four people. That's like, well into, $400 or $500 in a month. So anyways, so they need high paying jobs up there as well. And the legislature in New Hampshire, in Manchester, well, I should say in New Hampshire because I'm talking about state legislature, the state Congress, House of Representatives and and state Senate, and make laws for the state, and the governor, who's supposed to help bring jobs to New Hampshire and make sure all the different, I mean, we're lucky in New Hampshire. We're like in the middle of New England, and live free or die, no sales tax, and a lot of people from other New England states, plus up the eastern sea coast, come to New Hampshire for tourism. Because we have a lot of tourism sites, and I mean that's a big part of the North Country is tourism. So the governor, the state house, state senate, they're supposed to make it feasible for good high paying jobs, or create good high paying jobs in the state, because that's what we need. We need more high paying jobs. If we have more high paying jobs, we could pay for the high cost of healthcare out of our pockets, or maybe even be able to use some of the naturopathic stuff like Reiki and massage, yoga, those things, herbs. We have a lot of herb stores. There's a lot of people that know Reiki. There's a lot of massage places in this city and state, and those are high-paying jobs because they're up there in price. But the people that go there, okay, they need to be able to afford that, and for them to afford that, they need a high-paying job. And then just leave insurance in case you have an accident where things can get taken care of. You just go in and everything's taken care of. That's what health insurance was supposed to be about. And that includes the price of drugs, even though a lot of drugs that the doctors do prescribe are what do you call it? Generic. I couldn't think of the word generic. They're generic drugs. So you can just go to a place like Walmart and it's like $4 for a 30-day supply. So it's if the drug you're taking is generic, that's a good place. So we need those, to solve the high, first of all, some of there is some greed that is in the healthcare system. They care more about the money because you see these hospitals getting like all fancy and stuff like that. It's like, where are they getting the money for these? You know, they're getting it from insurance. You know, um, some people probably do donate to a hospital, and you can donate to a hospital. That's probably rare now. Because it's um, not not a whole lot of people have that amount of money nowadays. Even though I think that is changing, and it will change. Um, so, and the same thing with the, and you know, $600-700 really isn't a whole lot for a course, 16-week course. The problem is, that's like one paycheck, for a lot of people for 2 weeks, you know. So they'd have to like save up a month, to put money aside to take that one course. But I suppose as they're taking that course, they can save up for next course. Anyways. That's the other thing too that's a problem. A lot of people, not just in this state, maybe in this state it's a little bit better in this state than other states, but it's the credit card. The plastic money that people think it's free. Just swipe it, swipe it, swipe it. Buy, 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 buy. We haven't learned the skills of budgeting. And that's something that we should have been taught in grade school. Grades 4, 5, and 6 definitely have budgeting classes. 7 and 8 get into other aspects of budgeting. Maybe even having a store or not a restaurant, but selling something, baked goods or something like that, and have a whole business around that, and explaining, And then when they get into high school, they start getting a job. They understand about budgeting, and they start budgeting. And there'll be less people that be in debt. Because that's why the country's in debt. Because the majority of the citizens are in debt, credit card debt. Because they just want instead of like budgeting. Excuse me. Instead of just budgeting for these things. So that's something that we need to learn. We need to learn how to do this. To budget, to plan, and I didn't really have a whole lot of that growing up. I'm kind of learning that right now, especially right now, so I'm going back to college. I want to try and dig myself out of this like small little job view. I want my possibilities to not be limited, to be infinite. I want to have more possibilities, and to do that, gotta need to know how to budget. how to plan. You know, a lot of design shows on Home and Garden. There's not a whole lot of planning on those design shows, but that's what design and building is all about. You know, it comes down to a drawing, a plan, you know, and we have computer software that can actually do that. So, why not? Um, you know, we need to learn how to plan for the future, instead of just this is what we want now, and we buy it on credit. Credit's expensive, especially when you don't know how to use it. And that's why rich people keep getting rich, because they know how to use credit, they know how to plan, they know how to budget. And schools don't teach that, because a lot of teachers in school setting, they're in unions and they're Democrats. And Democrats, they want program after program after program. Well, the government has to pay for this, government has to pay for this, government has to pay for this. That's bull. If schools had a little bit more planning, they could do a heck of a lot more. And I'm talking about grade schools and high schools. They can do a heck of a lot more than they're doing now. And they would always be in the black. They would never have a negative balance on their balance sheet at the end of the year. So, but they don't teach kids to do that, because they don't do that. And that's that's where things have to change. I also want to talk about another idea that I had. I made other videos on them. And this would also bring a lot of jobs into this area and other areas throughout the country. Because there was a pretty bad drought in the middle part of the country. And a lot of the crops, produce, is going to go up because the yield just wasn't there. Now, instead of planting our crops outside, exposed to the elements, why don't we just have indoor, climate controlled, multi-story gardens? Start off with a really big one story. Even though I think we should have multiple stories, and on the multiple stories, it would be different crops. Have a few of the staples. Potatoes, tomatoes, fruit. Imagine if we could grow our own fruit here. Locally, the price would be cheaper. And we'd be able to sell it year round. So it's an idea. And that would also bring a lot of high-paying jobs into an area, because they'd have to design them, and they'd have to run them, and they'd have to, have a system where they deliver it to the stores. And that's where they would get their money to go back into that indoor garden from when they sell the produce. We need a good entrepreneur to actually like figure out that business plan or create that business plan. But I think it could work. You know, if I had won 300 million from the lottery, I probably would start looking into that. But who knows, maybe by the time I'm done learning about planning and budgeting, maybe there'll be another way. And also, in this time, we have to stay positive. We can't keep thinking negative thoughts, speaking negative things, and doing negative actions. You know, we can't. We have to focus on positive, you know, and always affirm the abundance that we have. Because if we affirm the abundance that we have and are grateful for the abundance that we have, no matter how much you have, it's still abundant. That'll change your energy, your view. You know, because as a man thinketh, so is he. You know, it's part of the law of karma. You know, we got to remember the law of karma. You know, basically it's do unto others. You know, what goes around comes around. You know, if you do something good for somebody, that good at some point will come back to you in some way. Same thing with the negative. If you do a negative to somebody, that will come back to you in some way. You know, because it's all about, the universe just responds to what we put out. You know, so if we like put out positive thinking, positive words, and positive actions, those things will come back to us. And that includes positive thinking, positive words, and positive actions about our money. You know, and the type of jobs we have, the type of money that we make in our jobs. Because a person, I think, that thinks positive about their money, speaks positive about their money, affirms the abundance, is grateful to the universe for that abundance, because you got to be thankful for what you got. You know, because when you're thankful for what you get more. And doing the right actions with your money, you know, people will get more. So we got to remember that. Now I know this has been a longer video, and I hope you stuck through it all the way to the end. I hope I gave you some insight. I do want to do more of these types of videos, so keep looking for those. I'll still be doing short ones. You know, maybe do a bunch of little short ones which will lead into a long one, because the short ones are me thinking about something, and as I think more about it, I get more insight, and I can talk to you better about, you know, a solution for something. So anyways, thank you for watching, listening. Stay creative in the magic of life, and may the force be with you. Thank you.